What up, everybody? It's Finding My Way, Semper Fi from BRT, and we have Toad. We are in week 9 of Finding My Way, Finding Your Way, whatever you want to call it. It's finding your way to a strong, not a strong, let me take that back. Finding a way to being consistent in trading. Um, this week we'll get into psychology and um, more into the market psychology and data release and news and how to play it, how to interpret it. So like that, when you be prepared for when there's data. A lot of traders avoid trading data. Some some trade through it. Some wait for after data for the market to digest the news release or the data release. Um, there's different ways to play it. I highly recommend if you're a newbie, don't play through data, definitely. But pay attention, take notes, look for patterns, look for different signs or signals because there's different ways to read the market. And some people say not to pay attention to the data because it's not relevant and it's already baked into the price action. So there's a lot of take. Um, and something that Brandon has taught us over the years is the psychology of the market and how to use it to your advantage. So we'll jump into this after a few recaps. We'll get into it. So without further ado, jump into Toad's recaps and then we'll jump into the market psychology. Cool.
All right,
Let's go. Let's see what you got.
cool. So we got a on what the ninth this was. Starting off with a long here, and this is my entry. Um, what I saw down here was on the 15 minute. I saw this structure breaking leg here. So I had that fibbed for targets, which is what my long targets are on here. And then on the 5 minute, I fibbed out the original leg that broke the 5 minute structure. So got what this leg here is this, right? And then this 15-minute leg is this whole thing. So then looking at this, right, we had gotten the pocket retrace for the 5 minute. Um, rejection from the 100, did that, popped up to that 1618 on the 5 minute, um, which made that 1618 the 100 from the 15. We came back down, kind of shied the 100, and then started consolidating up here for a while. And so you think the this right here could have easily been on the 5 minute, like a sort of a wedge that then flushes back down towards
Yep.
the 100 or the pocket. Um, but since I had the 50-minute fib, I went for I wouldn't consider this an A. This is like I definitely would give it a B. Um, so I went in three cons instead of the six.
Hmm.
Um, but I gave it a B because we had the RSI above the 50 for like this entire time. Never got to over hot. You got the 15-minute MACD green, of course, above the average and also above the 50. But yeah, I just couldn't really give it a in A. But then we got this wick here that made like the fresh low out of this consolidation, which then got pulled up into a red bull hammer and then followed through with a close above that. So I just went for it to risk these two candles basically around 20 points to look for the 15-minute targets, pretty much. Um, and then ultimately, well, I guess here's a question you're asking about what would be great to talk is I think trades like this. Um, it's like I'm not sure what to do with them besides just enter on smaller size because it's definitely like a momentum or a little bit of like almost perhaps FOMO looking to get into this near like the top.
Yeah. Yeah, that because this like technically you have a few legs, right? Because you have the first leg, the second leg, right?
Right.
And then you got consolidation and then another set of consolidations. This is where you want to be careful, right? Because the third leg might not be as strong. It might be like half of this leg. So it might go like right here, then come down.
Yeah.
So you do gotta be aware of that, but you also want to see how you can't see no price action, any that's relevant up here. So what you want to do, especially if you're entering over here, is you want to see if there's any clean defined price action. It looks like on the 5 minute you have some price action up here, right? So we can shoot up. I don't know what's this time frame right here.
Two.
Yeah, so your 2 minute sees the 2 minute how it has price action up here, and it's
Yeah.
no lower highs right here. So that's a good target to target. But just you what I always tell new traders is you got to be in context, right? Of where price action currently is. So yeah, we can go up here, but that can be today, that can be tomorrow, right? So you got to ask yourself, okay, we got one strong leg, a second strong leg. Do I think there's enough momentum in this push to make it up to the 2 minute structure?
Right.
Um, so now that you have that with context, now you can be like, okay, if I enter here, where can I enter? And one of the biggest things that I tell that I think one of the most important things to be able to learn first is being able to identify structure, right? On the 1 minute compared to how it looks on the 5 minute and the 5 minute, how it looks to the 15 minute. So learning how to identify structure is pretty easy. Just identify the swing highs, swing high right here, a little hump, and then the swing lows, which like down here. You have a few right here, right? Swing high, swing low, swing high. But you want them not to be so like in the consolidation zone. You want them to be like here. That's cleaner, right? The cleaner the swing high and the swing lower, the higher likelihood of that play going in your favor a lot easier. So now that we've
Right.
identified the structure, so I could right here on this play when you entered, right? You entered on this candle right here, and we have a couple of swing lows right here. And if you look back, and we got swing high. So usually when I'm getting in on these top plays, I'm looking at these structures, the most relevant ones, right? Being this is one, so I would have one here, a line, and I would want this to hold. But your first relevant structure is this top one, so you can draw a zone right there. So that's from this structure to this structure because they're so tight, and that's why I like them to be like this, more defined, more clearly defined leg. Like on the five
Yeah.
minute, I think you can see them a little bit clear. Um, but on the 1 minute, it can be choppy, and you're like, what the fuck? What structure do I use?
Hmm.
Um, as long as you're like I stated before, the more beautiful clear leg, swing high or swing low, the stronger that level is going to be than a choppy level, right? So right there, as long as you enter down here somewhere, you would take it long, but you would have a tight stop. That's usually what I do when I'm at the tops or at the bottoms. I
Yeah.
usually have a tighter stop than normal. I don't have a hard stop. I just have a tighter mental stop, right? Like usually if I entered right here to go long, if I entered right here, oh shoot, what the heck? If I entered right here to go long up, then my stop would probably be down here or somewhere in this area, right? If I have a fib, it's probably below the 23. Where if I'm at the top, or it's a tighter, I mean, it's already a second leg up, then I would probably have my stop probably right here, right? If we break below there, then I know we're not gonna go up. I mean, then we're probably gonna create a lower high to go down.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you can do. It's always be able to identify. Just have a tighter stop, and it's gonna be relevant, right? If you're close to blowing up your account, obviously you're gonna drop down to micros, and you're not gonna be trading NQ or ES because you're gonna blow it up even faster. Um, but if you have a good buffer or a good cushion, a good P&L, and you already know the risk, you just gotta have that conversation, weigh the pros and cons, and see if it's worth it, right? You can also look at the RSI, the MACD, to see if, like right here, you have about 30 minutes of or more. It looks like almost an hour, right? Of just consolidation zone, and even more over here. But what you do have that can you can help you identify is okay, is it on the top channel? Is it bullish or is it on the bottom channel? Has it been bullish for the last 30 minutes? Okay, if it's been bullish for the last 30 minutes, okay, is it over hot? No. Okay, it's in the middle. So it still has headroom to the top. That means that there's still headroom up here to go up here, right? So now that you know the RSI, there's still room up, but if RSI was over hot, like right here, see how it's kind of in the middle, the RSI?
Yeah.
So you know there's still room up,
Right.
right? And then you still have this structure up here, right? And then you got MACD or RSI that looks bullish. Okay, cool. The 2 minute looks bullish, the 5 minute looks bullish, and it even looks like what is this? 60 minute might look bullish.
Yeah.
See, on the 60 minute, you have that, right? If we get over there, guess where we're going? We're going right here.
Yeah. So that's glad I got that right. Those were the targets. You can see they're pretty faint, but
Yeah.
we
So
got one on this split and then one on these wicks.
yeah, but when you go to these targets, right, as your price action goes to these targets, you want to see the candle sticking to the top side of the candle, right? You don't want it to get bought up and then get sucked back down and then it looks like an inverted hammer, right?
True.
You don't want that. You want the price action to stay on stop, to stay on the upper side of the wick, I mean, of the candle.
Right.
And you want to see speed through these structures. You want to see that speed. If you don't start seeing that speed, like earlier today when I was in that trade, I was telling you guys, here's my stop, right? But if we don't make it above these bodies, which was two overlapping green and an overlapping red candle, right? I said if I don't see the speed through these bodies, then I'm probably gonna move my stop down to here, and I had a tighter stop. And then what happened is I got, you know what? I have a perfect example. Hold on. Uh, there was a perfect example. I'll bring it up later. Um, where I got stopped out and I re-entered because I started to see the speed, even though I was still in the trade for 20 minutes, which is pretty long time. I average around 15, 17 minutes in the trade. I was in the trade for almost 30 minutes because I initially, when I re-entered, I seen the speed coming down. I was like, okay, that's a speed that I wanted to see before, but I didn't get it. Once I seen the speed, then you see the speed to the structure, and then you know that it's gonna go your way, or
Yeah,
a higher a higher probability of going your direction.
that makes sense.
So the three things to the recipe for a good trade is first you want to break a structure, but first you want to be able to identify the nice strong level structure, right? Like this level right here. Because like we couldn't get over it, we couldn't get over it, and then it squeezed over it. And usually like this leg right here broke this structure right here, right?
Yeah. Then back tested those dojis.
So I could have fibbed that out and fibbed that out, and I would have entered somewhere right there to attack the next structure up, whichever, whatever it was over here.
hmm
So you could have entered here, way down here, and you could have caught this move way up here, right? But you missed it. Okay, that's still good, whatever. You can either fib from here to here, and then you would have got this entry,
Yeah.
right? Or adjusted this fib that was right here, and move it up to here.
hmm
So now you have this big fib right here. But you would have never got your pullback to enter. So
Yeah. Yeah.
now you gotta say, okay, if we hold the 100%, right, because of this long fib right here,
hmm
if we hold above the 100%, or if we go up and we shy the 161, come back and retest the 100%, then we could get another leg up push. But we didn't get
Makes
neither.
sense.
We didn't get neither of those. But
Oh,
what
you
you
remember which day this was? You remember what this looked like?
Pretty sure. I thought that was Tuesday.
Uh, yeah. No, Wednesday.
Yeah, Wednesday.
Yeah, that's why I asked about the. So I mean, I readjusted my target. That's why I asked about this one because ultimately we did never get this pullback. I actually
Then you got the
entered.
speedies.
Yeah, like I have, and this is what I mean is like sometimes entering entering up here, right? Then it comes down to stop out here, and then it just goes up further, right? Or it's like, I mean, at this point, once it comes down here, definitely wait for more structure to like take along. Um, but yeah, it's like sometimes, right? This would just be some stop where it's like, oh, well, I bought the highs, so of course I got stopped out.
Yeah.
And then other times it's like that was the only thing to do.
Well,
Like
we had
that
the
was,
we had a conversation earlier where Mark was like, uh, where we're talking about shitty structure, right? Like this is shitty structure right here, right? Because look at
yeah,
right here. We have structure, like a mini structure right here, and then we break it. Because we got to remember, this is the 5 minute. We break it down, and if you would have entered here, you would have got squeezed the fuck out.
right.
So this is not good structure at all. You want clearly defined legs like this little leg right here, right? You got the bottom down here, and then you got the top right here, structure. But even if you would have entered here, see this structure, how there's no structure in this leg up? But I always tell you, look behind the leg, right? Just like right here, right? There's no structure where there's no higher levels or nothing, right? But there's structure right here. So I would draw a line and I would fib out to the first pullback from there to there or wherever it's at, right? And then if that line right here coincides with the GP, that level right there is strong.
Right.
That level of strong support. So like back to this point where if you would have entered where you entered, you're like I said, you would have a tight stop. So my stop would be a break below this structure right here, anywhere between here and here, a break below any of that zone, right?
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But
It's
if you
actually even looser than mine.
well,
No, no,
and,
it's about the same.
and
Mine was
that and
right
that
there.
that's just something that you'll learn with experience.
Right.
That's why I'm against hard stops. But if you have a hard time bag holding, then definitely use hard stops. Once you get rid of your issue of bag holding, then you can have mental stops. But if you're fucking bag holding for negative 30 points or 40 points, and yeah, you need to have a hard stop because you're never gonna correct that. But what I always say is if you have laser entries, you should not have you will get stopped out less. That's why the first, because when I first started, I would always be like, okay, like where do I start, right? Do I
Hmm.
do I do I learn how to enter first, or do I learn how to exit? Do I learn how to stop out first? And I was just like spinning the wheel, I played with, okay, let me have a looser stop. I was still getting stopped out. Let me have a tighter stop. Okay, I would get stopped out even more. It's like, fuck, that's not working. Okay, let me see my targets. Instead of having 10-point targets, let me have 2-point targets or 4-point targets.
Hmm.
Sometimes they would reverse right before my target. And I was like, fuck, okay, so the last thing to try is, okay, let me perfect my entries. And then I was trying to learn that, and that's when I started learning the fibs with Susan and Brandon. And I was like, oh, okay, perfect. The fibs, I used to call them the training wheels because your whole trade plan was on the screen with the fibs, right? Your entry was a 50%, your exit or your stop out would be a hard open close below the 23%, and your targets is a 161 or the
Right.
100. We used to use a 200% right above the 161. So then I started getting tighter entries, more laser entries. I was like, all right, cool, I got it. And I would get stopped out less. Just perfecting my entries helped me get stopped out less and helped me hit my targets more. So what did that mean? That meant that I was being more pickier with my entries and I was being more conservative. Like, okay, I would teach my brain somehow to notice or identify the cleaner legs. I noticed that when there was a clean leg, a good push and then a nice little pullback, those entries or those plays would freaking go directly to my targets within like
Yeah.
5 to 10 minutes. Where I would get chopped up like this and this shitty ass price action right here. That's where I was having trouble. I was like, ah, okay. And then now, when you stack up the fibs with the structure, or ICT with uh, the fair value gaps with structure, you'll be look at like there's a fair value gap right here, right? It lines up with this structure support right here. So that zone right there is a strong support. And look at right here. Comes back, tags it, and then it goes. Just like if you were to fit that out. You fit that
Hmm.
out, comes back to the GP, lines up with structure, and goes. And I started to notice the more like I stacked up fibs or fair value gaps or moving average with structure, those levels were way more stronger than if price action was in the middle of the like in between the moving averages or in between the fib percents, that's when I would have trouble and it would go against me or I would stop out. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's just gonna come with the experience and learning how a candle opens, a candle closes, how a candle develops in the 1 minute or the 2 minute and the 5 minute. You're gonna be like, okay, this candle looks strong, this candle looks weak. This candle's gonna get choppy. You're gonna start to see that, and you're gonna have a better gut algo to freaking get you in and out of place when you need it. But cool, glad to see that it worked out, squeezed out. And most of the time, like I said, the third leg is probably not as good of a squeeze, but that's also relevant to the time, right? If this is in the morning, if this is in the morning right before 5:30 Pacific Standard Time or data release or whatever, then of course it can have that extra volume
Right.
because you want to identify these volume. Like I mean Connor put it good. They're volume levels. You're identifying the volume levels, right? The cleaner the volume level, that's where you identified where, because what do you need for pressure to squeeze up? You need volume. And the way you're gonna find that out is like these big green candles or the big red candles, like we were talking about earlier. Sometimes it retests the top of that big green candle and then it squeezes back up, right? Like right here, we have a big green candle, comes back, comes back down, then we get back to the top of it and then it squeezes out.
Hmm.
And then we have another big green candle, comes back, retests it, and then squeezes up. Same goes with the red. Cool. Good trade.
Makes sense.
Hopefully you
Okay.
take some tips from that.
Yeah.
Just be careful and put it in context and always look for structure, is what I would say. Put it in context. Are we at the top? Are we at all-time highs? Are we at the bottom? Are we in the middle range? If you're in the middle range, you're most likely going to get chopped up. Is there structure support? Is there structure resistance? Okay, there's a big green candle here. We can squeeze up. There's buyers right here. Or there's a big red candle on the top. I might want to be cautious around that level. But good.
Makes sense. Yeah, I think yeah, I suppose what I'm gonna have to figure out is like in a situation like here, right? Considering the structure is like if I'm gonna enter here, then the stop actually then it actually kind of has to be a management trade and the stop would have to be like I mean, I don't know, a tight stop like you're saying and be willing to take that shot again, a few times. Or manage it all the way down to, like the GP of the fib.
Yeah. And that's dependent on your tolerability. Is my account gonna blow up? Do I have enough drawdown? Or do I even want to risk that drawdown? You know,
Right.
typically my drawdown is 250, but I know that it can come all the way down to the GP and I'll be negative 450 or $500.
Right.
Or should I just get out at 250 and then look to re-enter at the GP? That's something that you're gonna learn. That I can give you tips and tricks, but you're the one that's under that gun and under that pressure, right?
Yeah,
Until you get rid of that pressure, y- I can't tell you what to do.
for sure.
I could
I
give
mean,
you
would
tips.
you,
I could give you tips on what I do.
yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like, would you, I don't know, would you see yourself taking a trade like this?
I took that trade because
You
of
took this one.
yeah, because it held this level or that level.
Okay.
But I got in right here.
Okay.
And I was in the trade for a little bit and then it squeezed.
Okay, cool. All right. Well, with structure, that's why I guess I'd call it a B because it's definitely buying a top, but it's with structure, it's with
It is.
momentum, it's with everything. Like you don't need I think it's when people talk about breaking structure, sometimes they forget that you can go with the structure. You know what I mean? You don't have to wait for the structure to break to go the opposite way.
Yeah.
There's also the current structure.
The current structure as support.
hmm so here I was working off those fibs I put earlier. We got a pretty good pullback to the um the top of this candle that pumped this large candle. We got yeah, I mean this split and also these fib levels. I was looking to see if we could maybe get continue squeezing up here. And then here's where I definitely made some mistakes because I mean this is probably a structure break to the downside as soon as this consolidation is broken, and especially this green pump candle.
Yeah.
Um,
See, that to me is not structure. I know you probably think of this as structure, right? Like my structure wouldn't be until down here.
gotcha. Hmm.
Or this whole zone. Yeah, you because that's a 5 minute, right? This is 5 minute.
Yeah, yeah, it's a 5 minute.
Yeah. Like this can easily right here could have popped right here. Popped up.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of thinking. So, all right, I guess I'm glad I wasn't against structure here. Um, I
But
mean, I
this
went
is
in
still
small.
structure up, but there's no structure down. There's no support, right? Right here.
Yeah,
That's the only
yeah,
thing. This shit can come all the way down, all the way back down to here.
yeah.
And that's where you got to be careful. Like sometimes what I'll do is, especially if I'm in like right here, like let's just pretend this is all time high, right? So there's no price action over here and there's no price action over here on this side. So what do you have to use? I don't have shit but fucking a fib, right? I can fib it from there to there, that leg. It's a beautiful leg, right? Beautiful pullback.
Mhm.
So you enter at the GP, your stop should be like either here or at the bottom, you know, because you have no structure. So see this big green candle? This shit can come all the way down and sweep it.
Yeah,
You just got to be careful. Like I said, you can't think that the same thing is gonna happen every single day, right? Because this leg could have been in the middle of a big daily chart, right? Or it could have been at the top of a daily chart or a top of or the bottom of a daily chart. So you got to see where you're coming from so you could see where you're going
right.
or where you could potentially go. And that kind of brings me into the market psychology. And that's why I was kind of against people who don't pay attention to data or news. And really, the only reason why I pay attention to data or news is because they can give you a hint of what might, first off, like news, I don't really pay attention to that much, but data I pay attention to more, right? News, when I use news as, I use it because what's the saying, right? Buy the rumors, sell the news, right?
Yep, buy the rumor, sell the news.
So what do you do when when the news is telling you, oh, it's gonna be a recession, war is coming, fucking normal people who don't follow the market would think the market's gonna tank when there's war, right? But it's the inverse. During war, the market goes up. It might initially go down, right? It might have like um Israel struck or the Israel, Iran, the Ukraine, Russia. Like that first day that shit happened, it had a pullback. But like the next 2 or 3 days, it went back up.
Right.
Be- because all those companies that are going to make money off of blowing up Ukraine or blowing up Iraq or blowing up freaking Israel or whoever, the company's got to come in and they're going to make money off of that.
For real.
The company's got to build missiles, they got to build freaking tanks, they got to build whatever it is, right? It might tank right then, but it might run
Buy
up after. And it's
buy some
this
Lockheed Martin.
exactly Lockheed Martin, Halliburton, freaking Kellogg and Browning, all those fucking shady companies. Uh, they the news will start pumping all kinds of shit, and people get frightened, right? Because when they remember another saying, another great saying for news and data: when people are fearful, we should be greedy. When people are greedy, we should be fearful. So when you see fucking news being, oh, we're in a bull market. It's gonna continue. It's gonna go to the moon. What do you think is gonna happen? We're gonna get a pullback, right? Oh, it's gonna be the next Great Depression, the next Great Recession. Everybody gets fearful. Everybody starts selling, but that's the worst thing to do. You just fucking wait for the bottom of the dip, and then you buy more. You double up. So that's what I'm trying to get, right? The news is good to pay attention to so you can do the opposite of what they're trying to pump. Because the normal people that don't trade the market, they do the normal thing, right? Not like they don't think like a trader, they think like a normal person. And that's how they pump fear, that's how they use greed, all that. Now I
Hmm.
now I pay attention to data. The reason why I pay attention to data, especially when Powell talks, is because he's telling you, bro. He's telling you what he's looking for in the data for him to make a decision. Sometimes he'll say, the job report is strong. I'm staying strong on the no cuts, right? So what do you look for? Next time when the jobs come out, okay, the jobs are weak. There's more jobless claims. That means that he might cut rates, right? If there's more unemployment, that means that he might cut rates. If it's if it's low unemployment, meaning there's more people working, then he's not going to cut rates because then that'll cause inflation to go up. Or he'll say, um, what else does he say? So he uses jobless claims, he uses employment report, housing, another housing thing. Oh, the housing market is strong. There's still a lot of inventory and this and that. He's telling you what he's looking for. So the next time the housing report comes out, oh, there's less sales. Okay, so he's not gonna cut. Or he might cut rates. So that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah.
Uh, you just want to pay attention because you always want to do the opposite of what everybody else is doing.
Makes sense.
You don't want to fucking be thinking like them because you think like them, you're gonna follow the herd. You want to create your own path and fucking follow the traders, not the market. Kind of ironic or right? You want to know where all the traders are going. Okay, their shitty employment report. We will. He's not gonna cut rates, or he's gonna cut rates, right? So now you're predicting, say we have shitty jobs. So there's a lot more jobs available, meaning that there's a lot more people that are unemployed. You're like, oh yeah, he's probably gonna cut rates. So then you're prepared. So if he says he's not gonna cut rates, now you know what the move might be. If he says he's not gonna cut rates and everybody else thinks he's gonna cut rates and he says I'm pausing or I'm staying strong, then you know the market might tank.
Right.
Vice versa, right? If the job numbers are strong, he's not gonna cut rates. Everybody thinks he's not gonna cut rates, and then he cuts rates, and then it's gonna fucking squeeze. So I'm not telling you what to do, but just take notes when he talks about data, when he talks about what he's looking for, because they will ask him the same fucking question from 20 different reporters in a different way. And you're like, what the fuck? Why are you asking the same question a different, you literally
Yeah,
has the same question six different ways. It's like they're trying to like, pull out that answer that they want and he won't give it up.
right.
Um, but yeah, that's just my 2 cents on there. Do with that with what you may. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me and I will answer any questions. That's the way that I use it. It's helped me. That and the 1050 cross. The 1050 cross is 85 to 75% accurate at calling what the move is going to be for data. Uh, uh, cool. So hopefully you guys pick something up there. If you can use it next time when data comes out, hopefully you take notes, journal. It's something that Brandon has always taught us. He's looking for this unemployment report, or he's looking at the housing market, or he's looking at this. So like that, you know what he's looking for. So when the data comes out, you already know what the forecast might be for rate cuts or not.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. Following that. Okay. Yeah, it's
Cool.
something I could work into because I haven't really looked much at data at all.
And
At
it, and
some
it
point.
and as a newbie, you probably wouldn't pay attention to it. And if you do pay attention, you probably wouldn't know what the fuck is going on either. But I'm just trying to tell you, like, think the opposite of what the news says and what the data says.
Right.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Cool. Let's get into the next trade.
Yeah, so this one went this is we started talking about this structure. There wasn't any structure here. It could flush all the way back down. And that ends up being what it did. I was talking, we were talking earlier. I said one thing I should probably stop doing, but like it works sometimes. I can't tell when it works and when it doesn't. It's basically this candle looked good. So I was like, oh, I'll take a 10-point stop and risk this candle. Um, and then that just got flushed through, right? On the very next candle. And then what we went where right, and then we went further and went for it again here, and it just got flushed again. And I was like, like at this point, I think this is a mistake. I gotta really pay to wait for at least like multiple dojis or something more than I maybe taking one shot at this wasn't like the worst thing. On the close of a 5-minute candle, we could have held this wick and started pushing sure one time, but I think I had like no reason to buy right here. Um, so yeah, I mean this was it didn't I still up. I think this 1-3 micro trade was like 450 or 470 or something, and then this took away like 200 of it. And then at this point, I just stopped that. I was like, okay, the actual dip buy that could occur here is like all the way down in the split. You know what I mean? Like at least somewhere down here. But I ended up just leaving after this today, or after this on this day. So I think yeah, that's definitely something I need to remember to stop giving gains back is buying just like going for the knife dip buy.
Well, like
Like
this goes. I mean, we just talk about this that I told you that it can go all the way down here.
yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I ended up doing. That's exactly what I ended up doing. But I just went for the long here off of like what I thought looked like a decent little candle.
Mhm.
But ultimately, not really. I mean, even the RSI here on the smaller, on the 1 minute chart was below the 50 and all that. We hadn't recovered the 50 or anything like that. So
Okay, this might help you, right? Because this is a
yeah,
good example, right? Because you on the 5 minute you think it's gonna go up, but we never got a pullback, right? The pullback is this huge freaking pullback right here.
right.
But on the 2 minute over here, we have okay, let's identify. Can you identify the structure?
On which one?
This chart right here? There's a few structure points, but
Yeah, I'd say here, here. At this point, I'd consider this like shitty structure.
yeah, true.
Of course, the top right
Yep.
here, right there.
And that's not
That's about it, right?
yeah, yep. You good, you good. Okay, so
That's everything.
now like okay, perfect. So in order for you to catch this long, uh, I would have used the 2 minute or the 1 minute, either one. Because this is the way that I use the 1 minute and the 5 minute together, right?
Yeah.
So on the 1 minute over here, I mean on the 5 minute, we have no structure at all until way down here. So what did I say earlier? That this can come all the way down to right here. Because that's the first structure support. Structure support, right? So okay, you know that. You have this fibbed out. Let's just say you're trying to catch a fib and you got your GP right here, right? You're like, well, if we come down here, I'm gonna get in here. I'm gonna put a fishing order out here. I don't recommend it until you understand candle development. Don't I don't recommend newbies be using fishing orders.
Okay.
Um, so we got that, and now what I'm looking for is uh since we don't have break of structure at all, it's a lot of structure down here. You're looking for a break of structure on the 2 minute, but to the upside, right? And you only have break of structure to the downside right here. You don't have it to the upside, right? Because you broke this structure right here. And it, see how it broke it right here?
Yeah, I do.
And then it came back and it what? Retested it. Retested that structure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then it comes back down to the moving average. You don't see a catch. I don't know where the structure is over here, but you want to see structure over here combined with the moving average or something. Catch it, right? Let's just pretend there was there and it was a catch. So in order, and let's just say there was another higher low right here near the GP. I am not getting in. Like if it creates a lower low right here,
Hmm.
I'm not getting in until it re-breaks back over this, the last structure, right? Because it breaks it, retests it, and then I can get in long. So then that would give you a catch right here, and then go, well, it would look like two candles to go in long. Know what I'm saying?
Makes sense there. Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Because you don't have no structure break up. So the 2 minute is telling you that it's just breaking structure. Broke, and it probably broke something over here. And it never re-broke back up until, I don't know, maybe way down here. And then it popped and then it probably created another lower high and then continued.
Right.
I'm not sure. I don't know what happened. But that's something that you can use, right? Because you don't have structure support until down here. And if you think Like I said, if you have that fibbed, then you can use the GP as your support, right? If it breaks a GP and it retests it, then you might want to take it short. If it breaks a GP or if it holds a GP, then you could take it long, right? But if it breaks a GP, like over here, then you don't want to take it back long until it re-breaks above the GP or re-breaks above structure. Those are your two conditions back up.
Yep.
So just use that next time. Like, okay, you don't, I mean, you can, and sometimes it will work, and sometimes, most of the time, it will not. I'm telling you that from first-hand experience. Um,
Yeah. No, I believe you absolutely. I mean, this is
just
um
something that you can pay attention to next time before you even try it along. Okay, is there any structure support? No, on the 5 minute? Okay, let me see if there, then I need to wait for a structure break back up for me to get in long,
yeah.
right? So if let's just say you were thinking of getting in here because that's where the GP is, or that's where you think the catch point is, right? You got break a structure, break a structure, break a structure, probably break a structure. You would not get in until we break this structure right here, that shitty structure. Break that, come back, retest, and then get in. What did I say we should call it instead of break of structure? We should call it
Break
break
strength.
of strength because if it's with if it's in trend, right? Then you need to break that strength to to do a trend reversal or a trend change. So you need to break that strength to be able to do that. If you don't have that break of strength or break of structure, then you're not going to get that reversal. Unless it's like a weekly or daily level way down here, and then it just fucking boom, it just pops,
Hmm.
right? And then again, you would wait for break of structure because then you could ride the momentum back up. Or should I say break of strength? But next time you look at the 2 minute, hey, there's break of structure. Like that, you can use them both, right? If there was structure right here, like let's say there was structure right here, and then you got in right there, and it caught that support, then yeah, that trade would be acceptable. And then it went against you, oh good. Don't matter. You took it at support, you took it at 50% fib. It was a good probability trade. It just went against you. It just didn't work that time.
Yep.
But since there wasn't no structure here, you're just shooting with your eyes closed.
It's just from the hip.
Yep. That good trade. Hopefully next time you'll have some tips on how to avoid that and let me know if it works next time.
Okay. Yeah, I mean that is just like not even there's no if I'm not waiting for at least 1 minute structure, it's just fucking buying a knife.
Yeah.
So
And getting stabbed in the back of your freaking.
yeah. Yep. All right. Okay, so I got a short then here. Um Here is actually some other it's like hey, I got a moment, So we close this 5 minute right here, which I'm sorry, it's 2 minute, which would I kind of think do you think this is a break of structure on the two here, or do you think that actually structures like all the way down
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
here?
Probably right here. It's probably the best structure that I see is right here, which kind of lines up with that. But
Yeah.
see how it has a little dip valley right here?
Hmm.
And then we got a structure right there. So that would be
Yeah.
your first support right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah, it's another one. Did it again.
Just boom.
Um,
It's hard,
You know,
bro. You need to know how. You gotta just keep practice identifying structures, identifying structure.
right. Yeah, the in this one, this is the part where it's like so ultimately this short consolidated for a while and then worked out. And these are the ones that these are the dangerous ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because
This is where
you're shorting right into that support, that structure support.
right. Exactly. And even winning the trade is dangerous because it's actually a bad habit. So it's like this one was a win. It was a top call on there was a re there's like this close, this strong close right below these EMAs combined with some levels, you know what I mean? For continued momentum to these other ones, but it's definitely a counter trend.
Yeah.
Um, there's that, and then yeah, it popped like right at my levels. Stopped out at that, and then what else here? So two,
And then again, look, you got these two big green candles right here. These two big green candles. Anything that looks out of the ordinary, right? That's gonna tell you that there's volume right there. There's a
right,
volume of buyers right here because there's two big green candles, so it can happen right there. It can pop.
right,
Just like right here, there's a big red candle. So look at it broke that red candle, retested it, and then it dumped. But if it comes back up to this red candle, it might still create another lower high and continue going down. You just gotta be aware. Not, I'm not telling you if you, let's just say you took a long right here, right? You gotta be aware of these big red candles. Be like, okay, if I see this hit that level and it gets fucking flushed down, then I know the bears are probably gonna push it down. But if the candle's coming up to that big red level and you're like, okay, it's staying strong, staying strong, staying up, staying up, staying up. Next thing you know, it pops up 50% of that body. That's your pivot point. That'll tell you if it's gonna go up or down.
right.
That'll tell you if it's gonna go up or down. Because there's no price action right here, right? So it needs to fill that imbalance. That's something that I took from ICT that I really like because there is an imbalance right there. There's no price action. So it needs to come up and take that and flush it or take that and squeeze them.
Right.
But yeah, I'm glad it
Okay.
worked out, but just pay attention. Like always look back and look for fucking big candles. They will tell you and history will repeat itself. Look at after this big ass green candle, right? Came right back down to it and look what happened at the bottom. Squeeze right back up. By the way, and over here another example. Red candle,
Hmm.
red candle. Look at what happens when it comes up to it, rejects it.
Yeah. Hmm.
So,
Okay.
something to pay attention to. And I'm not telling you to stop out at those levels, or I'm just telling you be aware of what could potentially happen with price action when it comes up to these huge candles. Especially if there's two huge candles and there's a little split. There's like they're not overlapping, they're just right next to each other. That level right there, that's what you can identify that. Put a line right there and you'd be like, okay, if it gets above it, it can squeeze. If it stays below it, then it's probably gonna dump.
Okay. Makes sense.
Start identifying price actions. Price actions. You'll be good. Cool.
All right. Yeah, absolutely. I got let me see. This one. Yeah, I mean long that worked out. Sure, yeah, I took a second. So after this down leg, I was like, all right, now this actually looks somewhat bearish. RSI
Yep.
is below the 50. Took another short.
That was
Um,
perfect.
yeah, this one I felt way better about. I mean, obviously, no, there's like no drawdown,
And
strong
notice,
liquidity.
look at like we have somewhat of a structure, not really, but yeah, you we broke this structure, right? We broke it right here. And then look, it comes back and retests it.
Right.
Boom. This is not the cleanest structure right here. I don't really like that type. Always want clean. Like, see, this is clean right here. Clean, beautiful. That structure right here.
Yeah.
And this, like, trust me, when this level comes back in play, like, let's say it came back, that level right there is gonna be strong support. Because then you got this support too. Just be careful. If you're taking it long, it should be a pretty good play.
Okay.
Always use structure as support, and you'll be good.
Good.
Like right here, right? Even this one. Look at like if you fib from here to here, right? This is structure, but kind of shitty, right? Right here.
Yeah.
But then you
Hmm.
got this structure right here, right? Then we broke above it, and look, it came back and tested it. Now, did it go up? I think it did, but I don't know if you have another screenshot, but
This
ah,
one, I'm pretty sure this one did go. So after this short win, yeah, it's down here. Tried to go for a long off of in like basically the 50, fibbed out this large pump here
yep.
from 5:30 a.m. to here. Um, went long around here in the pocket. I think let me zoom out here. Yeah, so then I felt like I was like, oh, now I'm doing like this. Yeah, this is a spot for it to go long, but actually there's no structure yet. So I closed out candidate, really just barely dodged my stop.
Uh-huh.
Um, so I closed out half back here, and then ultimately then did go through my stop. So closed out half for break even. Um, and then it did go further down, and then after that we had some consolidation. We then broke this here um, and got in long again, and then ultimately squeezed up. Although I don't know where on this long there would have been an appropriate structure break, because I mean, all right, so we've got that shitty structure, and then we got this. Uh, and then there's definitely like these.
I
But
would
did this pump break? Like, was this structure? Probably like shitty,
the best
maybe.
structure was probably this one,
Yeah.
and we
And
wouldn't have broken it until way up here, but
yeah, so it's like this might have been like a 5 minute long, smaller size with bigger targets. We
oh, but it did
did,
pop. It did pop, like I said in the
yeah.
previous.
Yeah, it did pop up over that structure, and then yeah, and then it just squeezed real quick.
Yep. That's
Um
what I would had suspected. I mean that because that structure right there is too clean right here. And this leg is perfect, bro.
yeah,
Other than this little spot right here, because first would have been that and then this little spot. So did it come down? Yeah, it did right there. Because of this little shitty support, this structure
right.
right here. But this is way stronger. So as long as we held this, I would love for it to hold this instead, right? But you gotta tell yourself it could come all the way down to here and then bounce. Because
Makes
then,
sense.
because then you gotta flip it, right? Because this is structured up, but this could be structured down right here. So if it would have broke down this structure, right? then it would have went like this, and then went down.
Hmm. Okay.
Just like I call these little ones right here speed bumps. I'm not saying that it's gonna dump it or reject it. It's just gonna slow fucking price action down, and it fucking slows it down. You'll fucking see it, bro. Where all the candles are nice and pretty, nice and full, and then it hits like one of these little structures, and then all of a sudden it looks like these little ass candles, and they're just chopped left, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then it'll make a decision.
Right.
Um, yeah, just be aware of these little stupid structures, but these beautiful structures, I'm like, even this one right here, right? That's beautiful right there. Nice fucking boom. So now we got full structures busting through it. So we can still potentially get one more leg up. As long as, remember, what do I say? There's like little caveats, right? You want it to come down to it quickly. Like right here, right? It went up green, 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 and then it went straight down red, 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 and then it bounced, right? You don't want it to be like this, where it's, oh, lower high, oh shit, lower high, and then it hits your level.
Right.
Those ones are dangerous. These ones can either squeeze up like this one, or it can just go whoop. It's better when it's clean and it just comes right back to your level and retests it and then it goes. Like right here, right? Up, clean, and then go. Up, clean, and then go.
Yeah.
Where it's like right here, you're like, oh shit, lower high, oh fuck, lower high. And then you're like, oh shit, now you're stuck in the trade way longer. Where it's clean, you're in a trade in 10 minutes, whether
Uh-huh.
rather than 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Makes sense there. Hmm.
Cool.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'd say number one thing is really like, you know, waiting for the 1 minute structure, stop being impatient.
Yep.
Maybe like if high confidence on some dip buy, it's like, way even smaller size than this. Not even like three, maybe it's one. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, I've got a few more, but I should probably cut it a bit sooner this time to keep working
Yeah.
on these
Sure.
deliverables.
Sounds good. I have one for from Starscream. See, he wants me to recap it. I'll recap that one and then we'll end the recording.
Cool. I'll stop sharing.
So we have this trade, and I was in this trade myself too. He has a 5 minute NQ over here, and he has
Um,
a 1 minute NQ right here. This is the trade that I walked you guys through where I got
I
stopped out.
don't see your screen.
Oh shoot. Hold on one sec. See my screen now? What do you guys see?
Yeah, now I see your picture with Starscream there on top of your.
Oh yeah, perfect. So I had this fib just like he did. Um, he said he took it long from here. It looks like. Let me see. Yeah, he took it long from here to here. Uh, if I was taking this long, I would have took it up to this little overlap. Would have got out right there. And this is something that you got to be careful with, especially if you're new, is swapping bias, right? Because you're in long here, and then you're trying to short down here to go down, right? That can throw you off. Because you're like, oh fuck, all these wicks are gonna fucking, you get in short right here, then you get pushed up, and then you're fuck, right? For me, this was my trade plan, and you guys, I was walking you guys through it when I got entered this trade, when we first started the meeting. I entered here, and then I added here, and then I got stopped out on this candle right here. And
Hmm.
my whole plan was I had a stop above here. I had a stop above there. That was my plan, right? I entered here. That was my entry and at the 50%. When we're right here in this mess, we weren't getting the speed down that I wanted to see, right? And then I told you guys I put a line at the 50% of these little three candles right here. And I told you guys if we break and hold above that line, I'm stopping out. This candle, my mistake was I didn't let this candle right here close. I think I was like 2 minutes into it and it was way up here. It was staying up and then I closed and then it fucking went down. And I was like, fuck, I got stopped out. And then I told you guys, if we see the speed, I'm going to re-enter. I'm going to re-enter. Oops. So then we seen this speed right here, this candle right here. Oops. This big red candle. It broke back below the level that I had. I had a white line right here. It
Yep.
it broke back below it with speed. I said, "Oh, I seen the speed." I got in. It came back up against me a little bit, and I was in the trade for a while. For I think it was like 20 or 30 minutes. I was in the trade. I'm glad that you guys got to see that live and see me explain it second by second because I seen the speed. The main ingredients is break a structure, right? Well, first being able to identify structure. Identify structure, wait for structure to break, look for speed. If you don't have speed, you're not gonna have a clean play. If you have speed, it's gonna fucking like jet to your targets. Uh, so once you see the speed, and the only way you're gonna figure this out is getting screen time. You see the speed and you get in and you take it down. And I got my money back from this trade, plus I made an extra 500-600 bucks.
Okay.
My target was 200 EMA or the 100. It was yeah, it was down here. It was I took one here because I always like to lock in profit. Then I took another one here and then one down here somewhere. And that was my trade. This shit kept draining too. So Starscream, he had the perfect play. This is just, I don't know if you had fishing orders out here and here. This is just where you got to be careful because you can get, especially if you have a prop firm or if you're about to blow your account, I would not have multiple entries and I would not be adding, right? If you have one, if you don't enter with full position, I think the issue here why he might have got stopped out is he was over leveraged,
Yeah.
right? Because this is pretty tight stop right there. Tight stop, tight stop. Looks like he tried 3 times. He got one winner right here, and it looks like he entered here, then he added here, he stopped there, and then he entered again, and then he got stopped out, and then he entered again and got stopped out. Imagine if he would have just, when you're low on funds or low on buffer, you want to take the best entry. You want to take the best entry. So right here, I would identify the fib. You got that fib laser, right? That's cool, a cool looking fib. There's this structure here, and then when I see this little combination, I use it as structure just because it lines up with the 38% fib, right? So that when I'm running low on funds or when I have no buffer, I am only entering at the best fucking price. And what did I just tell Toad? I told him combine fibs or moving averages with structure, right? So look at this even better because what I always say, always look behind the leg. Always look behind that leg. And behind this leg is what? Right here.
Structure right there. Hmm.
Structure. So even though this is shitty structure, you have this structure right here, right? So that makes this structure a little better. So now you have that. So I would not be entering in short. Like this should have been your best entry. And you should have just not entered here. No. That's if I have a low buffer, right? If I have a fat cushion, if I have cushion being I'm already green, then yeah, I'll add here and I'll add here. And my stop would be up here.
Right.
But if you're tight on funds, only enter at the best price. The best price is right here. Right here. The 38, because you got this structure and you got that semi-structure. And then if you enter here, your stop is either right here, above there, or above here. Whatever you can tolerate. Right? And if we break above here, remember, if we break above and hold above there, and then start looking at the 50% of that fib, if we break above this right here, then look at the 50% of that fib, wick, that wick. And then if we break above there, then we're going to this wick over here. And break, right? Because they can break and not hold above it. You could get wicked out, right? Goes up, it comes back down. You're like, fuck. That's what happened to me on that candle. That's what happened to me on this candle.
Yeah.
For like a minute, it was up here. I was like, fuck. And I just stopped out. And then like literally as soon as I stopped out, it came back down. And then what do? I reset. Yeah, I took a negative 500 bucks. Negative 500 bucks, but I had a cushion. Um, and then I seen the speed right here. And then I re-entered. Boom. And then it went back up for a little bit. And then it fucking went boom all the way down here. And I locked in right here, and right here. By these two contracts, these were house money. This contract got me half or more of the money that I lost over here. Uh, Hopefully you guys learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me. Any issues, questions about breaking structure, yeah, uh,
Roger that.
psychology, hit me up on YouTube, on freaking Discord, and I'll answer your questions. And I'll give you a live example, or yeah, let's do it. Let's get to it. So soon we'll be starting the small count challenge. Since week 9, we'll do one more week recording next week. See how you're doing. You should be pretty consistent by now, or at least be. And then next week I'll leave you with the plan to scale up and to continue improving improving your strategy. So,
Hey, that sounds good. I think it's pretty fitting that this week is week number 9. Week 8, you left on when we left on week 8, the next 2 weeks, right? I took my funded that were above the buffer,
uh-huh.
withdrew 3K, and then on week 9, uh, well, actually, no, on week 8, I was ready to trade them, and on week 9, I made 3 grand, withdrew it all, and then blew them. And it was very emotional, very fitting for the ninth week.
Well, hopefully
So,
next week is it's a fresh start. It's a one, you know, 1 plus 0 is 1. So new beginning, new start, fresh start, and we keep on chugging, bro. You're there. You're definitely there. Don't give up. Don't let freaking emotions get in the way. don't let euphoria and get overconfident. I've been
Hmm.
there. I think a lot of traders have been there, but I think you're right there, dude. You're like right here on this little fucking hill right here.
For real. Like honestly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
We were right here.
We were there a year ago. That's exactly where
And
we were.
then we climbed this fucking steep ass cliff, and then we're down here. Look at how easy going it's gonna be.
For real.
The grass is greener on the other side, brother. I'll see you there.
Let's go.
Cool. Stop.